2022. We'll start with the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we're thankful and grateful for your goodness and grace shown toward our city, Ashland, Kentucky. We are thankful to be able to serve our community, and we ask today for your wisdom and discernment as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and its citizens. We ask your blessing and favor on our city manager, our staff and employees, and those in attendance today. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a motion to receive and file the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a motion to receive and file the minutes for the recess meeting held on June 20th, 2022, the regular meeting held on June 23rd, 2022, the recess meeting held on June 24th, 2022, the called meeting held on July 2nd, 2022, the called meeting held on July 11th, 2022, and the called meeting held on July 14th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioners, if you'll allow me to start, I just want to welcome everybody today, and we have reason to celebrate. Commissioner Blanton has a new baby boy, and so we are very happy for you and your wife, and there's probably a political future one day for baby Blanton.
Or not at all.
Also want to mention our thoughts and prayers go out to the folks that were affected by last night's flooding in the state. I received a notice from our Boyd County Emergency Management that they are actually assisting as our AFD a part of that too. And so I want to appreciate you well. We're one big family here, and the fact that we can pick up and go and to where we're needed, we appreciate the opportunity to do that, and we know they do that for us. All right, Commissioners.
Go ahead. I just want to thank Marty for that wonderful prayer, and I appreciate Mike slowing down the Pledge of Allegiance a little bit. And I don't have anything else. I'm just ready to get going.
Well, I'm thankful for Summer Motion. We got a letter in the mail thanking us for our support for Summer Motion. It was a huge success, and I want to say congratulations to AKY moms who have sponsored this vendor. I thought Maker's Market, and it's a wonderful success, and they're doing it every other weekend. We've all been down there, I think, and bought produce and goods and so forth, and so on. And then some of us there to look over the demolition at 1401 Winchester. Story.
It feels like they're just...
Yeah, they're just doing really good.
You didn't drive through it literally, but...
No, we did not go through it literally. And I'm just pleased that it's going as well as it is, running part.
Yeah, I heard you gave him a story on the Led Zeppelin concert.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I opened my mouth too much, but about years later and had 2 kids, and I gained 80 pounds. And but anyway, it was I'm really pleased with the work going on down there. That's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Blanton?
Well, thank you for that, Mayor, and just want to say thank you to everyone up here and all of our friends and family who have just shown an outpouring of love. And my in-laws are in town to help us with the baby, and my wife's dad commented after they were here for a few days. Well, our sanitation employees were taking my cans up and back from the garage, which I wish they didn't have to do, but they did because they knew we were in the hospital. And he said after a few days, he said, just seeing the people that are calling and have come to the house, and he said, this is just an amazing community. And that's somebody with no bias whatsoever. In fact, I took their daughter from Houston and brought her to Ashland. So But they said, it's amazing to see that you all live in a place like this. And I can honestly say there's no place, and I've been all around the world. I've lived in different places through the country. There's no other place I'd rather raise my family than right here. And thank you all for that. The mill is opening August 9th, long awaited for all of us. So we're very excited about that. And I was honored to join Visit AKY and AKY Moms and lots of volunteers for the Discover With Us event at Broadway Square, and it was space themed, so we were excited about that. And I got to meet someone from Ashland named Susie Martinez, and she is a young engineer who works for NASA, and she actually is a flight controller for the International Space Station and grew up right here in Ashland. And we also have Les Johnson, who is the project lead for a mission that's going to be launching next month. So it's and Susie's also and it was great to really talk to all the kids that were there and say, here's someone from Ashland who just has this amazing career, but you all can do it too. So it's just wanted to recognize her for coming and helping us out with that, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, City Manager's report.
Just a couple of things, Mayor and Commissioners. First off, to highlight what you had said about the 6 personnel from the Ashland Fire Department is mobilizing as we speak to get on the road. Also, there's a couple payment requests on the consent agenda, and I want to add a little bit of depth. The raw water intake cleaning, we got a report on that, back on that today, and that's probably the best condition that raw water intake's ever been. And you remember a couple years ago we put the grates, if you will, on the outside, and they had done a little bit of cleaning before that. They went in there, there's still some other residual material, and even picked up one of the old damaged protectors that we had. So that's in really, really good shape, and glad from the contractor for taking care of that. Conference center payment for the conference center analysis is also on there. We're expecting some type of initial feedback in the very near future with a report to be complete on that by the end of September. Actually, I think I said yesterday, October, November. I believe it's going to be before then.
Good.
And don't want to get out in front of it, but Catherine had said yesterday that they're very, very amped about the opportunities that we've got here for a conference center. And then the last thing I wanted to point out, a little bit of congratulations for thinking forward. Recently, the state, and I believe the feds, Mr. Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, have made new standards for Class A and Class B CDL licensing, and essentially a class that would cost $3,000 to $4,000. So we handpicked 2 employees, one from utilities and one from streets. They've gone to a train-the-trainer course, so they can now train our employees and will save us quite a bit of money. So that's going to start really soon, and as we turn over employees, it's just really critical without those CDL. So congratulations to Mark and Jack for doing that work. And that's all I have, man.
All right. Now we move on to public participation. Anyone with a comment or request may come to the podium and address the commission concerning matters related to city business, services, or personnel. Comments related to election issues or concerning personal disputes will not be allowed. We ask that only one speaker is permitted per subject. No action will be taken at this meeting, and those with comments are asked to fill out an inquiry complaint form and leave it with the city clerk for distribution to the proper city department. Would anybody like to come forward and speak? And if you would, just state your name.
Pauletta Wilson.
Okay.
I would like to recognize you as city council members, mayor, legal counsel, and city clerk. I opened Lyra's. Can you speak up? Hello. I was having trouble hearing you all too.
Her microphones may be. Yeah.
I don't know, but sometimes I have a little hearing issue. Is that better?
Yes, it
Is that
does sound better. Thank you.
Okay. I opened Lyra's in 1986, which is 36 years ago. And I've seen a lot of changes come to Ashland in those 36 years. There's a lot of good things that's happened for Ashland. I think you all are doing a wonderful job with Judd Plaza and the riverfront. And it reflects. I mean, people all want to see progress. However, I'm here to address an issue of the special events that are held downtown at certain times of the year that block off the streets and and it prevents customers from getting into our stores. These events are the Beer Fest that happened in June. You've got Poke's Landing that's coming up next. We have First Friday, and there's other events that happen. And most of the main artery, I call it, the downtown area, is from about 13th Street to 16th Street. That's where the hub of all your businesses actually reside. And if people cannot get into our business, then we don't make sales. People won't walk. They won't inconvenience themselves. They won't even walk a block, let alone 2 or 3 blocks. So what happens then, we're keeping our doors open, but we're not making any sales because these events actually just kill our sales. So if we can't make sales, we can't pay city taxes, we can't pay our bills, and we can't pay our employees. So my proposal is that you move these events to this beautiful riverfront. You've got ample parking over there. You have electricity over there. It's very aesthetic. The river's there. It's beautiful. Rather than to block off the main artery of the shopping district that prevents customers from getting into our stores. Okay.
Well, we thank you for your comments. You know, it's important that we listen to our business community and respect that the concerns that are brought before this board. Moving forward, we definitely are going to task our city manager and city leadership.
Well, sometimes I do think, Mayor, that it may be hard if you're not in business yourself, if you're not a business owner or a business manager, to put yourself in that person's shoes.
Yep.
Okay,
I
it's very
get it.
hard to do that because the last event that happened, the Beer Fest, we had 2 brides that canceled that day. They never rescheduled. So we lost that business, never to gain that again. And so that has become a very big issue. I mean, people that do come in during these events when the streets are blocked off, they ask to use the restroom, or they just want to cool off, or they're just loitering. They're not there to really purchase anything. And
Well, I will say, I did own a business downtown, and First Fridays always brought people in my store. I was always open that night
yeah.
on First Fridays because and I was off on 15th Street. So, I mean, I had a lot of people come
Right.
in that.
But yours was more like a quick sell. Like ours come in, if they come in to try on a bridal gown, they're going to be there for 2 hours. If they come in to try on a prom dress or homecoming, same thing, an hour to 2 hours. And they usually bring other people with them. It's like a family affair. And, so if they can't get into your store and they can't find ample parking, they're just not going to come. They'll take their business somewhere else. And by it being blocked down all the way, like I said, from about 13th to 16th, that also takes in your bridge traffic, which we get a lot of business from Ohio as well that comes into Ashland. I couldn't tell you how much. I don't know, but I would say probably 40% of the business comes from Ohio.
I know we do, in our own small business, we do see a lot of folks coming from Ohio.
Yes.
For all 3 of our locations, so I share those sentiments.
Right. So that's blocked as well. That prevents traffic from turning left and going down Winchester.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a particular fondness of your all's business because we were next door neighbors for a
You
while.
live next
Love
door,
you guys.
Josh. Yes.
It's I definitely hear you. And first of all, thank you for having your business. We appreciate you all being there so long. You're a staple downtown. So
we have been in the
appreciate
same location too, I might add. 36 years in the same location.
And improve the look of your building.
We've been working on it. We're still working on it.
Yeah.
We want to add to the city too and make the
Sure.
city as attractive as we can by the appearance of our building.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it is an issue, so I hope that you all really do consider my comments.
Sure.
I have been wanting to come here for a long time. I've talked to Matt about it before.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, and that's why I wanted you to come today. Our commission is open to anyone that has comments or concerns, and your voice matters here.
Right.
So we appreciate you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Anybody else like to speak?
I commend y'all on the job that you do. We appreciate all y'all trying to do.
I do have one
Improvements.
question. I do, just for the record, if you would just tell us who you are. I'm sorry.
Melvin Ward,
Thank
Melvin's
you.
Barbershop
Okay.
on 15th Street.
Thank you.
And I do commend y'all all you trying to do. I know it's a hard job sometimes to try to satisfy everyone. I know it is. But, you know, I'm like the rest of these small business owners here. I'm not from this area. I live in Ohio, but I enjoy working in Ashland, Kentucky. And I have a business that I'm trying to build, something for my daughter, and like you and your families that you're trying to build. But my issue is the parking downtown. I've talked to the mayor, Mr. Perkins, about it, and he says they're working on it. The thing is, you got people that they park all day long. You know, me, myself, I try to park blocks down and walk. We got older people that comes in our businesses that can't walk a block or half a block. You know, so if we can do something about that, I know it's ample parking that the city's getting ready to try to open up the garage here for free parking, or some people have to park under the bridge, you know, to get to us. So, you know, we as small business people, you know, we're not Walmart, we're not Longhorn or Texas Roadhouse, you know. We're just small people just trying to make a difference in the community.
Well, your small business makes a big difference in our downtown, and we appreciate you continuing to be in our downtown. One of the things that I did mention to you in our conversation was that we are looking at parking. This commission is dedicated to working on a solution. In fact, the city manager may have some insight to that.
Yep. Thank you, Mayor. We are actually working with the company right now to put kiosks and also QR code readers downtown. We're in the midst right now of putting together a map with different parking zones, the hot spots. The biggest challenging area that we've had from the studies that we've conducted is between 14th and 15th Street, roughly that area. A little bit more challenging between 13th and 15th, and then 16th and 17th. So we've got a draft proposal that we want to send back to them that would enable parking enforcement downtown. We do want to push people away from areas so there is more opportunity for people to rotate in parking down there, and not roost. I think the term that's used regularly is roosters.
Roosters.
You know, I know Commissioner Goot tells stories about was it Saul that threatened folks that parked in front of their businesses all day. I mean, that exacerbates the problem when a business owner, I'm not saying anybody in here, but somebody's even confessed it in a meeting here. Yeah, small business owner, they park right in front of it. So putting that in place, and to be quite frank, we've not had solid parking enforcement for the last couple of years because impacts of COVID, impacts on personnel that we had to lay off, and now we've got this challenge. So I think I'm pretty optimistic about the system that we're looking at purchasing to encourage people to park in the parking garage, as you said. Also utilizing outside of the Paramount, parking lot 5, and down by the depot are all other options.
Well, the thing is, I went around town. I have a 3-page petition from small businesses here. If y'all would like a copy of it or whatever,
Sure,
from
you
small
just
businesses
give that
here.
to the clerk. Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, we might add too, so I don't think probably most people in the public or the businesses understand, our enforcement was dealt a pretty severe blow by the court systems that, you know, the marking with a yellow
Yes.
was held unconstitutional.
Personal property,
Yeah, so we're going to have to work on some technology, and actually there was a staff meeting yesterday on this subject matter and trying to move forward with technology. So it's very high on the agenda. I mean, we agree with you, something needs to be
Well,
done.
we all a
Agree
community that, you know, like you said, we're family here. And I consider myself a family of Ashland, and for all the other business people that's here as well. So, you know, I like it here in Ashland. I'd like to stay in Ashland. And I appreciate everybody's business, and I appreciate what y'all doing. And appreciate everything that y'all do for us.
And we did pass an ordinance not long ago about parking to give the police the ability to do things to make that a more short-term area. It's just like what Mr. Moore was saying and the city manager. the legality of stuff that changes every day, put it through a monkey wrench into everything that we were trying to get done. And so we're trying to work within the parameters of that. And I'm aware of that. I mean, when I had my business, I rented a place, so I would not park on the street. So I get it, and everybody here is aware of it. We're trying to do something about it. I appreciate you coming.
But we appreciate y'all as well.
One final comment, the commission also did budget funds. It was an estimate on what would be required to in place the system, so they've got that in the budget for FY23. So again,
And it's serious dollars.
Yes.
It's fair to say enforcement is coming. It's not going to be tomorrow or next, but it is on the agenda and it's coming.
Well, the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, so, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So we'll bring the
understanding that.
enforcement back, and then we'll have a whole bunch of people standing up because they're unhappy that they're getting parking.
Exactly.
How it works.
But can I sign your petition?
You sure
I
can.
fully agree with you. But no, I mean, there's digging a little deeper, there's specific issues, and Mrs. Wolfe has let me know before about certain specific issues. I won't say exactly what they are, but we know, and I think that what we're working on will address some of that, but there's work we can do in the meantime too, and even talk to some of these businesses. I mean, there's one or two that are offenders. And-
Serial offenders.
Yeah, and just because they're not parking in front of their business, they're coming down and parking in front of your
Yeah.
business all day long. You know, they may tell their employees, don't park in front of our business, but everything else is free reign. And, I think it's important for downtown business owners to educate their employees as well.
The thing
To
was-
say there are open lots, there's
Yeah.
free parking all over that is not on the street.
And sometimes it's people that don't have customers per se,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I went and talked to the hotel as well, their manager, their employees and their customers, they have stickers in their window, but they park in front of our businesses
Yeah.
overnight
Yeah.
and there all day. So, what can you do? You can't do anything about that.
Well, I think there's a remedy coming, and especially, even like you mentioned hotel, that's the purpose of that parking garage
Yeah.
that we plan to build next to the hotel is, the hotel right now, I think, has 100 and, we heard this number the other day, 150-ish rooms and 86 parking
Parking spots,
spaces.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're always going to be,
Well, once this community trust thing goes through, as the mayor was saying, I think that might help a lot if people would just want to walk. But like ladies, I talked to Hannah at Happy Nails. These women that owns businesses like Pauletta and her daughter and this woman here, and they don't want to walk through the alley in the wintertime when it gets dark. I'm sorry, what's your name again? I'm sorry. And I apologize. And they don't want to walk through the riverfront at night, the park or whatever, They're women. I understand
And
that.
there's men too that don't want to walk in the
Yeah,
alley
I'm
at
one
night.
of them.
Oh, it's safe in there.
All right. Thank y'all for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you.
Would anybody else like to come forward and speak, please?
We'll get to know each other better later. Hello, and thank you all. And I do think you're doing a fabulous job. I'm so happy to be downtown. I'm Sherry Wolfe. I have the Merle Norman Cosmetic Studio on the corner of 15th and Carter, and we have a ladies' boutique in there as well. And I hope I'm not stepping on Pauletta's toes or reiterating what she says, but we kind of were talking about this at the same time, and I was kind of focused on First Fridays because it does affect our business. And Jonathan Jordan, who owns Christian Alexander Home in the same building as I'm in, he's manning the store so I can be here. But we have talked about issues before with the festivals, and although I love First Friday, I think it's a fun activity. And Pauletta mentioned moving things to the riverfront, which I totally support because I think the riverfront's beautiful. I walked in here and it was showcased on the TV screen, and I'm like, yes, that's where we need to be. But I also, before thinking about the riverfront, I thought even if we do like having festivals downtown, could we not start at Broadway Square and go south? Could we not do, like 16th, 17th block or 18th block in front of the museum and the power company, where there's not a real shopping district or retail district? that would alleviate so much of the congestion so that, people don't come downtown and call. Like my customers will call and say, I needed to come in and pick up my foundation, whatever, but there's no parking and there's horses up everywhere. Can you just run it out to me? And although I'm thankful for that business, I'm not losing it. My thing is, if I don't get them in the store to show them something new, they're just going to buy the same foundation every month. And I'm going to run it out to the curb, and they're never going to come in my store and see what's going on. So as much as we've had to deal with mail orders and curbside pickup in the last couple of years due to COVID, as small businesses, we are desperately trying to get people back in the door. Online shopping has become huge. It does not help us at all, needless to say. So we're desperately trying to do more live sales, more Facebook, more digital, just anything to get people to come in our stores, come and see this, come and see this, come and see that. But if they're blocked off the first Friday of every month, and, I kind of just unfortunately get those phone calls that they can't get a parking space. And I think Josh had said one time, which I wholeheartedly agree, we don't really have as much of a parking problem as we do a walking problem.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to walk.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, we could all use a little more exercise, but with events and so on, it does affect our business. And Jonathan and I have both really tried to reach out to those festivals to see what we can capture from that. We went as far as having a sidewalk sale on First Friday one evening, thinking if they're not going to come in the store, we'll just bring it out there.
Right.
So we set up tables and we had people out there. Sally Vance, who also rents a space for us, she had a table with her, brochures and all of the things about her aesthetics business. Unfortunately, neither one of us got one sale, not one. And nothing against you guys, but we get so many women who say, I'll come back when my husband's not with me. Or they just don't have the time. They're not really downtown to shop on First Friday. They're there for the event, they're there for the shows, they're there for the vendors, the food trucks and so on, and all of that's fun and it's great, but I just think that we need to come up with a solution where downtown can have events and our businesses don't get shut off, or we don't get blocked off, or we don't get put in an unfavorable situation where we're sitting there, we're open till 6 o'clock, so we're sitting there from 2:30 or 3 o'clock, doing nothing.
So luckily, Commissioner Spriggs and I are on the Ashland in Motion board that files the event request for First Friday, because the city doesn't really do anything with First Friday beyond, that's a bad way to say that, but the organization Ashland in Motion
Does all the planning
does
and
the planning.
executing.
And we'll gladly take your comments to the Ashland in Motion board. And
It's not a bad idea to move it down a couple of blocks. I think we could have a real good discussion about that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get people out of downtown.
the mission of First Friday was to bring people downtown to go in the shops.
Yes.
That was the whole purpose of First
Right.
Friday.
And I was all for it. I had Traditional Creations downtown when Cheryl had Miss Rocks, and we tried to do it then.
Yeah.
And I helped Patsy whenever she had Patsy's on 16th. And, she would have wine and cheese. She would have all kinds of things, just trying to get people in. And we have just found that people are there for the event. They're not there to try on clothes. They're not there to try on makeup. That's just not what they're doing. They're just out for an evening and they're having an event, and that's great, but they're just not there to shop. So if it were moved down farther, those people can do what they want to do and have that much fun, and that's great for downtown because people still see it. But then it still opens up the streets for the businesses, for the shopping district, as
So
I
are
call
you
it.
open on Friday nights?
I'm sorry?
Are you open on Friday nights, Sherry?
No. Mm-mm. No, we did, we, like in May, we did the first two. Does it start in April?
April to October.
Yeah. We opened April and
But
May.
Carter's not blocked, is it?
No, but you're talking about then the pre-blocking of the streets in preparation when you're open from in the afternoon, correct?
That's right.
So, is it blocked over there? I don't
Carter's
think
not
our
blocked.
area is
No,
blocked.
Carter's not blocked, but 15th
Yeah,
and
side streets
16th
are.
is.
It's right there at the art gallery, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
It just goes to the alley.
So they,
Okay.
they put their little horses up there, like in front of Tipton's, so you can't go around the block. You can't, if you can't park on Carter, then you just can't park. And unfortunately, City National is very generous in letting our customers use some of their spaces sometimes. Lori has told us that. But, that gets filled up by 2 or 3 o'clock on First Friday evening, so our customers can't even get in the bank parking lot.
Well, Ms.
So-
Wolfe, we appreciate your bringing this also to our attention, and
I know
also
you're getting bombarded today with small
it's
business
okay.
owners.
That's our job, and I think it's important to note we will get these comments directed to the groups that sponsor these events,
Thank you.
and also I know our city leadership that works in conjunction with those organizations will be seriously considering all the concerns that were brought forth today.
Yeah, well, it's just nice to know there's other options.
And
know, and
you come back anytime.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I certainly thank everybody from downtown coming today because this commission is committed to downtown. As you can see, the business we've done in the last couple terms.
Is there anybody else that would like to come forward?
Okay. When I was at state convention this past year, our national commander I got another award. It's right here on my hat for volunteerism. Also, this past Saturday, we had our dinner for our national commander, which now he's a member of our post. All the national officers, all the state officers stayed at the Delta. I'm on the convention corporation, and I'm going to push hard for us to have a convention, AMVET convention in this city.
Wonderful.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of driving to Louisville. So,
With gas prices especially.
yeah, I know. I have to
We'd
do it
love to
quite a
have
bit.
it.
Yeah.
We'd love to have it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to try. I'm going to try hard on it. So,
If you get that to happen, I'm going to pin another award to your head. Just to your head, not the hat.
anyway, I thought I'd bring it up, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wirtz.
Mayor, I want to mention, I forgot to mention this, but People's Bank is having a leadership meeting for their company leadership at the Delta this week.
Wonderful.
And they had, one of their VPs had reached out just to let me know that they had chosen, their coverage area is big. It's a big area. And they chose Ashland to do it. And I told them we appreciated it, but I wanted to say it officially as well.
All right. Good news. Would anybody else like to come forward and speak? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business.
Before we start old business, I see Mr. Roberts lurking out there. Were you going to want to address the commission? Are you just observing? No, sometimes we have attorneys come in and they think they want to address when we actually call an ordinance they're interested in, and we don't do it at that time. We do it in public comment. So I didn't want to not give you the opportunity to talk because I know how you like to talk. Old business, item A. Second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting by reference updated procurement regulations for the City of Ashland, Kentucky, July 2022, and repealing ordinance number 61, series of 2019, as amended by ordinance number 87, series of 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a real estate sales and purchase contract between the City of Ashland, Kentucky, and Equestrian Properties for the purchase of 120 20th Street by the City of Ashland in the amount of $60,000, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents associated with and/or necessary to complete said purchase of real property.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and the Ashland-Boyd County Health Department to provide and administer hepatitis B vaccines to approximately 5 new employees at a cost of $228 per employee for the Department of Human Resources.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Cargill Incorporated Salt for the purchase of approximately 2,200 tons of treated rock salt in the amount of $138 per ton delivered for the Department of Public Service Division of Streets.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and BLK Construction LLC for all labor and materials for miscellaneous concrete and asphalt repair work for the Department of Public Services and Utilities through July 31, 2023, in the amount of $599,806.25.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
On the consent agenda, before presenting that, I would ask for a motion to amend the consent agenda to add as an item, city manager recommends authorizing payment of $75,494 to Paul Miller Ford of Lexington, Kentucky for 2 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles from Paul Miller Ford of Lexington, Kentucky.
So moved.
These are purchases were previously authorized, we're just paying.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the consent then agenda, a resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda as amended for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of July 28, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
New business item A, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and improving change order number 1 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Bobby's Mulch, decreasing the contract in the amount of $4,650 regarding the demolition of 2323 Altura Street for the Department of Community and Economic Development."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a mutual aid agreement between the City of Ashland, Ashland Fire Department, and Boyd County Emergency Management, and repealing ordinance number 49, series of 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a school resource officer agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and the Ashland Independent School District Board of Education for the term July 1, 2022 to June 30, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to the City of Ashland, Kentucky closing Bath Avenue between 22nd and 23rd Street, 23rd Street between Bath Avenue and Central Avenue, and an unnamed alley running parallel to Bath Avenue and Central Avenue from 22nd Street to 23rd Street in the City of Ashland, Kentucky."
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Why are we doing that?
So if you'd look on the board, Mayor and Commissioners, this is basically to orient you where the red and green boxes are on the left. That's Chatton Drive coming out of the park. And then the big yellow square is the existing parking on KDMC. The roads annotated in red are what was just read to you by Corporation Counsel. And you'll see the blocks in green in the center picture, and red is the future expansion of KDMC. On the very top, right below the word Central Avenue, is a parking for the new emergency entrance. And what else did I leave out, Ms. Utzinger or Mr. Pullum? Also, of note, Utilities is doing an analysis of what lines have to be moved or adjusted, and KDMC is totally understands that, as they have in the past. So this is ongoing. KDMC is very amped about getting moving on this as quickly as possible. I think that's it.
Where is the expansion of the ER?
Right below the sign where it says Central Avenue on the very top, you'll see a parking lot there and some vehicles that are at an angle.
The purple area? So when do they, okay. When will construction start on this? Oh, okay. 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 Thank you. How many parking places will KDMC end up having? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Have a parking permit. That's cool.
This won't disturb Carolina's Cafe, will it? Okay, okay.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and improving leave up to 48 hours for police officers and firefighters involved directly in critical incidents pursuant to KRS 15518 and KRS 95A.292.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item F, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending Appendix F, City of Ashland Drug and Alcohol Policy of the Policies and Procedures Compensation Plan Classification Plan as adopted by ordinance number 51, series of 2017, as previously amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, naming the Port of Ashland Riverfront Park, Port of Ashland Pogue Landing.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a couple things. So the name, the full name would be Port of Ashland Pogue Landing. That would be, it would, Port of Ashland would stay there, I guess, as it's written.
Well,
right?
As it's written,
yeah,
yes.
if I think, when we talked about this in our budget meetings, we had decided to name that in the west end, Pogue Landing, and Port of Ashland would be the right, on the right.
Yeah.
Is that what was understood from the discussions we
Yeah,
had?
I don't have, yes, is what, I understand that. And so I don't have any problem with saying, you know, like Pogue Landing Park at the Port of Ashland, if we want to name that, that grassy
yeah,
area
it's
of
fine.
Pogue
I just
Landing
think
Park.
this is our history. I had it in my mind that this would be, when we referred to Port of, or Ashland, we would know it would be this end.
Pogue Landing.
The east end.
Sure.
And the Pogue Landing would be the west end.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I had.
Okay, so, yeah, I use this as an opportunity to brush up on the history a little bit, and it's interesting. It's
Yes,
very
it is.
interesting.
I know.
Everybody should do that. You should
Yeah.
read the
It is
history
interesting.
pre-1854
Yes.
of how we came to be here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the city used to be named Pogue Landing.
Yes, it did.
Yep.
And the only marker we have is out in front of City Hall.
Out in front of the city building.
Right. So I didn't fully understand that, what you're saying about the being half and half. That makes sense. I'd talked to a couple stakeholders, Paramount, obviously doing big things down there, things like that, and they have started to kind of market, and they're people coming from out of town are starting to know that area as the port. So I didn't understand that we're talking about having two different things. So
Yeah.
I don't think we are in this ordinance.
We're
but
not. So do we
I don't
have,
think we are. I
so-
think we need
so do we have a
you, sir.
motion
That was not the
to,
way it came to me. They came to me to just draft an ordinance that was changing the name of the Riverfront Park to Pogue Landing.
do we, can we make it in
And the Port of Ashland, I think, Todd, you correct me if I'm wrong, is a nautical term. It doesn't refer to the whole park, but in the past, we've called it the Port of Ashland Riverfront Park, the park part. The port is actually the nautical part and the ingress and
And
egress.
and I think just listening to the conversation, that's fine, but we want to delineate
Yeah.
basically statues over, or past the statues over
Yeah.
as Pogue Landing
Pogue Landing.
Park
Yeah.
at the port of Ashland.
We
That
can
would
definitely
make
do
sense.
It'd be
that.
good if you know, when you're saying we're at Pogue Landing, you'll know where that is.
Yeah.
And
All right, so you want to have Riverfront Park on one side and Pogue Landing Park on the other side, essentially.
The port on one side.
Port of Ashland, not
Port of
Riverfront
Ashland,
Park.
yeah.
We're getting rid of that. It's Port of Ashland on the right.
The statue's over.
From the
Okay,
statues
Port of
over-
Ashland Park, because the port and the park are two different things.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Port of Ashland on the
All
right,
And Pogue Landing on the left.
Pogue Landing Park on the left.
I think
on the
Chief has
west.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
No one's concerned with that. Sure.
no, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
And that's separate from the park, which the park can be two different names. It can be two different parks if you want,
Correct.
which is what I think I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
You are hearing
Yes,
that correctly.
yes.
So
So
this
right
ordinance does
now-
not do that, so we'll have to,
We need to take a vote on this ordinance, right?
yeah, I
We
think.
need to
this-
let it die for lack of.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
We have to vote.
Well, it's already
Everybody
been,
has
it's
to vote
already been moved and
No,
seconded,
we
so yeah.
just, do we have to vote it down or just let it
Have to
die?
vote it down,
Vote it
because-
down
Okay,
would be
vote it
my
die. I mean,
recommendation.
you vote it down. All right.
All right, well, based on the discussion, it sounds like we need to make some adjustments. So any other discussion before we go for a vote? All in favor? All opposed?
No.
All right, and I will bring you back something next time that,
Can we do it tomorrow?
Ken, if you want to come tomorrow.
Well,
Well, no, we'd have to put out 48 or 24 hours notice
okay.
for a special
All
meeting.
right. Okay.
Uh,
We'd like to have it dedicated during Pogue's Landing's
Are we
days.
coming back tomorrow anyway?
We are going
Tomorrow morning at 8:30.
He said we have
We have to have 24 hours.
to. It's magic. I have faith in our staff.
It's magic?
No, to get it done.
We'll get back to you next time.
Okay.
Item H, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Hatfield Contracting Services to furnish all labor, materials, supervision, and safety for the replacement and installation of new fencing at the Central Park Tennis and Pickleball Courts in the amount of $80,000 for the Department of Parks and Recreation.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item I, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 2, series of 2014, previously amended by ordinance number 79, series of 2018, which created, adopted, and approved an economic development incentives program in order to strengthen and expand the city's economic base, establish the eligibility criteria regarding applications, provide for a committee to review applications, set the application and review procedure, and identify the events and default while providing remedies thereof, creating an economic development incentive loan program.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And item J, reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, establishing a safety committee pursuant to the bipartisan infrastructure law which amended the Federal Transit Administration Safety Program 49 U.S.C. 5329 subsection D by adding to the Public Transportation Agency safety plan requirements.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then, if there's no further new business, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session for discussion of potential litigation and individual personnel matters. Do you have
Yeah,
something?
oh, yes, we will be, but we'll
I was
do that
asking-
at the end.
We'll do it at the end. That's fine.
Can we recess momentarily so folks can,
Get a sandwich?
Absolutely. We just need the motion to go into executive session. We can take
So
a
moved.
break
Second?
before we start it.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Back in session. Let the record reflect that during our discussions, no action was taken. Does anybody would like to make a motion?
I do, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to give employee 072822 a 5% increase.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to deny grievance number 07062022.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to recess until 8:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Recess till tomorrow at 8:30.